In tonight's Biz Blitz, it's is internet a right? President Obama is pushing to expand affordable broadband access across the country. But Hadley, companies like Google are already doing this, aren't they? Where does the government come in on this?
It shouldn't. Internet is not a right. I always go back to John Locke and natural rights, negative rights, when the question of is this a right comes up. Of course, internet is something that adds a lot of ease and convenience to our lives, but it's not something that the government should have a hand in providing for people.
Yeah, and last time I checked, the internet was still something you and I can get on mostly free. We got to pay an ISP.
Public libraries typically offer the service.
Yeah, I think, though, that I'm opposed to everything government involvement, but this maybe I can sort of understand, because there could be safety issues involved here too. Like, they need internet access for a lot of things, maybe police departments and fire departments and things like that. So, as you know, the government's really only role is to defend our country. And if this is part of the defense of it, then I'm okay with it.
Liz, that brings up, we started the show with this hack on CENTCOM, and so where is the government's role in this?
I think it's not a right. Teresa makes a good point, but I think enshrining, I mean, it's a privilege. I mean, does this mean that every company service is a right? That then you can enshrine it as any company service as a right, and that means more government encroachment into that service. I think there's another story behind this push to make it a right.
There's a big push to push a lot of new government out there on the show today. Meantime, issue 2, 18 states now seeing gas below $2 a barrel. This just as Saudi Prince Al-Walid tells our very own Maria Bartiromo that the era of $100 oil is over. Lizzie, I hear some oil people saying, no, it's not over. We're going back to 100 this year.
Yeah, I mean, the dollar is strengthening. There's a combination of reasons. Half of the plunge in the oil price is due to the fall in global demand. That tells you there's global sluggishness out there. But you're right. When the economy worldwide turns around, oil will pop back up. This is not inevitable that you're going to see oil at these levels forever. So, you know, the thing is, when oil comes down, though, it is the cheapest stimulus, though, for U.S. consumers. Yeah. It's cheaper than a payroll tax cut or even the president's own stimulus plan.
Right,
it's a bigger, quicker
pocket.
Bang for the buck.
Right in your pocket.
OPEC still wants it around $80, too, though, so there's no way that it's going to stay this low. They can't handle it if it is.
Hadley, why aren't we having a Senate investigation on these oil companies driving these prices down so low?
Sure.
You know, this is a political and geographical world market that we're looking at. So I would never say never when it comes to prices for oil. In the future, we could see $100 barrels of oil again, but I also agree with Tracy, in the near term, it's not going to stay at $50 a barrel either. So this is something that impacts the entire world, not just the United States, although producers are suffering through this very low price point right now.
So are you, Liz, I didn't get, where do you think oil's coming back?
I think it'll come back, but not for a while. I think it's going to stay at trending around these levels for a long time. And, you know, this tells you when you have oil dropping, it means the U.S. government doesn't have to be the first responders responding to every crisis with the U.S. taxpayer money. They can let market forces take over. $200 billion is what could be put back in consumer pockets because of the plunging gas and heating oil prices.
Well, then it's wintertime, so a lot of people get advantage of that. All right, on to issue 3, iPhone separation anxiety. It's a new study that shows that people freak out when they don't have their phones. Where's my phone?
I know, see, I sort of buy this, Tom, because we've gotten to a point where this is my contact with my kids. If I don't have it and, God forbid, something happens, I would be very nervous. I work across, there's a river between us right now, so this phone is my only connection to them right now.
Yeah, but Hadley, I get to immediately look up your wiki page to find out, you know, everything about you. So how could I go without my phone?
Instant gratification. People have become so dependent on smartphones, not just for communication, but it's also our GPS. It's also our camera. It's a one device for all uses kind of tool. I didn't need a study, though, to tell me that people have separation anxiety from their phones. Just go out in public. Everyone is staring at their iPhone, whether they're reading a news article or simply avoiding the awkward social interaction of talking to other people face to face, which is really a lost art.
Well, and that's where the sociologists are all worried. The psychologists are worried about our children won't know how to deal with other human beings about all of this. But Liz, when I go out the door in the morning, I pat make sure I got my
Yeah,
phone.
and I lose my mind if I can't find my phone. And I agree with Tracy, it's a way to keep in touch with your kids. But remember the time when there was not even any voicemail and we had those answering machines at home that we would check the answering machine?
No, I'm too young to remember that.
But that was called, yeah, exactly. But Tom, that was called reality. That was called living in the real world. I just feel right now there's so much neurotic obsession with being on your phone and texting and all that. I don't think that's living.
But I have to say, the world is different. Like when we were kids, my mom worked 5 minutes from home. She didn't work a tunnel and bridge away. And you can leave the doors unlocked, and there were people home to check on the kids, and it's different.
Knowledge is power, and those little machines can give you, I don't have to go to the encyclopedia.
I could track the pedophiles in my area now.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that before. It was just crazy Uncle Charlie down the
Tracy,
street.
Liz, Hadley, crazy Uncle Bob. Thank you all very much.